So as far as school, it used to be in most places that school week was Monday through Saturday. I think in most places they don't do Saturdays anymore. So, but I mean, kids are still going to extracurricular activities on Saturdays. But in most places they don't do classes. As far as work is concerned, I would say the average businessman with a salary will probably work Monday through Friday and about half the time Saturdays. Um, Probably pretty comparable hours to the US. But the difference is in Japan, everyone is expected to show up before the boss leaves and to stay until, or I'm sorry, show up before the boss arrives and stay until after he leaves. So there's kind of an expectation to be there early and to stay late. And then it's also very, very, very considered very important to spend time with coworkers after work to actually go and drink alcohol, actually. So I think that's a very unique challenge for members. Sometimes I know some that are able to just kind of get their work environment to understand that they just would rather go home to their families. Some of them, I think, still go out and just, drink water or ginger ale or whatever. So that's different. That's a challenge. So in general, I think people are just more busy. Their day is more full of appointments. They're just, here in the U.S., a businessman with a family might work 9 to 5, and he can come straight home. He can drive straight home at 5. But in Japan, you're expected to go out with your coworkers, and then you have to catch a train back, and then walk from the train station back home. It's very, very common that that a dad leaves before his kids wake up and comes home, 10, 11 o'clock after they've gone to sleep. So that's, especially with bigger cities, one of the nice things is the public transportation in Japan is just impeccable. Trains are hardly ever late. If they are, they keep you very informed as to why and how late, and if you need one, they'll give you a note that says why you're late to work. They're just very efficient. The trains and the buses as well. So that's a really easy way of getting around. In Japan, you just don't need a car as much. Even in the small towns, you can usually use a bike to get to the grocery store and to the train station. It just feels, compared to where I'm from in Utah, things are just much more accessible on foot. You can buy anything you need to buy, either a short walk away or a walk to the train station and then a 5-minute train ride away to something. It's just, you can just get out and go get somewhere without getting in your car. Japanese people actually shop, I would say, Americans kind of, as far as grocery shopping is concerned, on a weekly basis. Japanese people are a little bit more, especially housewives, are a little bit more daily or every other day. They like to have, portion sizes are a lot smaller, not just like at restaurants, but like at how much they sell in grocery stores. So you would go buy, enough vegetables and meat for one meal. A lot of housewives do. So for missionaries, it kind of presents a unique challenge that you have to buy a lot, because you generally only have one day to shop as your preparation day. You might need to pick something up at night. I don't know, but so you have to know what to buy and what's going to keep for the whole week. But yeah, and a lot of people just go grocery shopping on a bike and have a basket, and they stick all the groceries they need in their basket. That's how we did it as well. So they have a lot of, they're called shotengais, it's pretty much like an outdoor, it's like a mall pretty much. It's just outdoors, or sometimes it's just like covered with one of those like sunroofs, and there'll be lots of different retail outlets in them. There are malls that are kind of like the malls we have in the US, but the Schulten is just a big street full of stores is more common. As far as markets, there are a lot of people in maybe the rural areas that would sell vegetables privately, in a little stand or even outside of their home, or just really little grocery stores as well. I didn't go to those there were a couple areas where I would go to those every now and then. It was really fun, and the people that owned them were really talkative, and the vegetables were really fresh. But not so much like outdoor markets that sold food. Every now and then you'll happen upon those, but as far as like buying other things like medicine and clothes and all of that, they're in those big streets where a Shotengai, where there's all those different streets, and there's not really like a they don't have as much of those all-purpose stores like we have like Target or Walmart in the U.S. It's you have to go to this store to pick up this product, this store to pick up this product, and I don't think anyone. It sounds inconvenient, but I don't think anyone really minds that in Japan. It's kind of you want to go to the store that specializes in your product so you get the right one. It's just kind of a cultural thing, I guess. Okay, so as far as cost of living, I would say it's generally a little bit more expensive than it would be in like suburban United States. Not as awful as you might think. And obviously it's more expensive to live in the city. Food's more expensive. Everything's more expensive. And also, as far as food is concerned, if you want to eat Western food that you ate in the United States, you can get access to it. It's just incredibly expensive. It's not cost effective at all. You kind of have to learn to just eat what's affordable, and you have to kind of eat Japanese food. So produce and certain meats are not too expensive, pretty similar to the US, but if you want to eat cheese or milk or any kind of dairy for that matter, or cereal or peanut butter, you can get them, but they're very expensive. As far as hygiene is concerned, it's actually kind of interesting. I think a lot of foreign missionaries that serve in Japan come home in love with Japanese hygiene products, and I'm one of those. I when I would go as a little kid, I would bring my own stuff, but they actually have a really wide variety and like really good ones. I don't know that they were like, as far as cost, I don't really remember ever being blown away by how expensive hygiene products were, but there's just like this really great variety of them. It sounds weird, but they have a lot. There's because it's really humid, they have a lot of different like towels and papers that you can buy, like face papers that you can use to wipe your face, that kind of just take the sweat away or like take the oil away, and it's really nice that way. A lot of missionaries just love the hair products they have, like the not just the shampoo and conditioner, but like the styling gels and stuff, because Japanese hair is different from Western hair, so they're different. They just kind of feel different. And I know some of my friends still order them on Amazon from Japan because they like them so much. So as far as homes and architecture, so I said earlier, every home will have in apartments as well, will have a genkan where it's usually sunken in. So there's a step up into the house and all the shoes are there. An average home would usually only have 1 or 2 bedrooms, and it's not uncommon for an entire family to sleep in the same room, which I think is really different. In the US, we expect that each person has their own room, but in some Japanese homes do facilitate that, but it's not uncommon for them to not. It's very normal for an entire family to sleep in the same room, and they don't have Western beds. Some people might, but what's traditional is called a Tatami Mat. It's actually straw, but it's very treated, and it doesn't feel like straw at all. It's very smooth, and it's not necessarily soft, but it's not wood by any means. And you lay what's called a futon on top of that. It's a mat to sleep, and you actually put those away in the morning, so that space is available as a living area or whatever. So space is just a lot more efficiently used in houses. As far as and futons are not, I wouldn't say that they're particularly uncomfortable. Honestly, it doesn't feel that much different than a bed to me, at least, because because of the floor underneath it is straw, and it's not as hard as, it's not like sleeping on hardwood. And so the combination of the floor and the mat is actually not that bad. And then like bathrooms are also like the toilet is always in its own room, and then another room is probably the sink and the shower. And the shower is actually a lot of it'll be in the same room as the bathtub, but you don't stand in the bathtub when you use the shower. You just stand on the floor, and there's a drain. That is a really hard concept to grasp for some people, because it's just different. The bathtub is actually in its own way kind of sacred. You don't like you're supposed to take a shower and wash yourself, and then get in the bath so that the water in the bathtub stays really clean. It's just a different cultural thing.